In the low 50s. A return to sunshine for tomorrow. Pleasant day. Highs in the upper 70s. Couple of pop-up showers on Friday. Partly sunny. High mid 70s. Right now it's 76.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Michael Negron of the Small Business Majority.
You know, Trump administration thinks that they're doing solid for small business with their policies. And so having business owners out there talking about how, whether it's tariffs, whether it's potential cuts to healthcare, how it's going to hurt their bottom line, how it's going to hurt their consumers or their employees, I do think that will have a real impact. Every time he does something, he gets really bad feedback and he retreats in the face of it.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekday afternoons 4 until 6 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
We are the keepers of the wild. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving the natural landscapes that define our nation. Nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters. Together with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
President Trump is unhappy with the organization that helped him pick his Supreme Court justices. Jim Santel will be here to break that down. We'll lighten it up in hour number 2.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right, it's all right.
And now, a man barely 6 feet tall, but a mountain of muscle, Pete Schwaba.
All right. Welcome to Night Lite, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday, June 4th. As we creep ever closer to what is supposed to be summer. Kind of a nice day today. Hope you're having a great day. Glad you're with us here to forget the cares or the concerns or stresses of the day. And let us help you ease into your evening here at Night Lite when we talk about some movies. We got some stand-up comedy on tap. Wow. Need a roadmap to get to that one. And then we'll talk to our pal, a Civic Media colleague who is always fun to have on the show. Got a fun question. Anxiously looking forward to reading your texts about said question and just all kinds of fun stuff tonight. Conrad, how are you?
I'm doing good. You know, it's a nice day out. I got outside today. I went, did a little 9 holes in the morning, so that was fun. And I had one of the best feelings. This group of 4 let me play through because I was just a solo.
Oh, wow.
And I absolutely smashed the ball in my drive. And they looked at each other and said, damn.
Wow.
That made me feel really good.
What do you do with that, though?
It means I'm getting better.
It just makes you feel good temporarily, right?
Because on the other side, the worst feeling is when they let you play through and you get the ball.
Shank.
Not even 5 feet.
Right.
So
that's awful.
Yeah. So I had the good side of that today. So it made for a good day.
That's all you needed.
Yeah, that's all I needed.
All right. Well done. Well, we had, like you said, it's a great day. It's good weather today. I did nothing. I was inside all day. And I try to get out a little bit every day, take a walk, do something. But today I just wasn't feeling it. I knew I had to be here early because we recorded an episode of the Dr. Kristen Lyerly show, which I'm excited to be on. And we had to record my stuff for New Wisco Weekend. I've got a great classic pick this week. Have you ever seen Dazed and Confused?
Yes. And when you said, I said, what is your classic movie pick? You said Dazed and Confused. I'm like, oh, thinking about summer. That's
it's a
perfect.
Summer movie because it takes place on the last day of school. And, you know, it's funny. I was watching parts of it last night because I haven't seen it probably in about 10 years just to kind of refamiliarize myself with it, even though I've seen it 5 times and I could write the thing in my sleep. But it reminded me of like these high school kids that adore, idolize, whatever, rock and rollers, because that's the life they want. They want to smoke dope. They want to drink beer and party. And that's encompassed by the music they listen to. Like the main character in the film is Pink Floyd. I forget it's Jason London plays the main character, and his name is like Jeremy Pink Floyd. They nicknamed him Pink because of Pink Floyd. And it took me back to the late 70s in my neighborhood in Chicago. We were hanging out at a public school, just sitting there. We played fast pitch against the wall. We had a little strike zone drawn, and that's where we used to play fast pitch. So I always hung out with older kids when I was younger. And some of the older kids, they were like these guys in Dazed and Confused. They worshiped Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and Aerosmith. And it was like, when you don't really relate to that, I don't even think I liked girls at the time. I was probably like 10, but I'm listening to these guys talk, and someone wrote on the side of the school, it was graffiti, they wrote Pink Floyd. It's spelled, I can't remember if it was Pink or Floyd wrong or something, but this idiot couldn't even spell the name of his favorite band before he wrote graffiti on a school. And one of the guys in the group I was with said, Conrad, he was so serious, it was impressive. He said, whoever wrote that doesn't even deserve to own a pen. And I just remember, that line stuck with me my whole life. I don't know if I thought it was funny or didn't realize it was funny until I got older, but the fact that you're drawing a line in the sand to defend your band, and how do you spell Pink Floyd wrong anyway? It was probably some stoner who wrote it. Everything about it was funny to me. Doesn't even deserve to own a pen. And he didn't even write it in pen. It was obviously spray painted Pink Floyd, but oh my God, it was funny. And that movie Dazed and Confused reminds me of that moment. I think when I first saw Dazed and Confused, that's probably when I recalled this moment from my life, from when I was so much younger. But such a great film. That will be on this weekend's New Wisco Weekend, hosted by Lisa Hale here in Northeast Wisconsin. You can catch it on you can find it on the Civic Media website, correct?
That is true. Yeah, under
New
shows.
Wisco Weekend.
Yeah, it's right in there. New Wisco Weekend.
And the theme is summer. So
yes, it is.
It's going to be exciting, and that's why I picked Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused takes place on the last day of school in 1976 in a small town in Texas, even though they shot it in Austin. But not much plot, but great characters, and it will take you back. Even if you didn't grow up in that era. That was a little before my era, too, but I relate to everything about it. Kids just looking for a party, wanting to go where everybody's going, find their way. It's just so much fun. And Richard Linklater is an absolute brilliant, brilliant director. I like everything he's ever done. And there's a couple I still have to see, but love his films. Okay, fun show tonight, folks. Chicago-based stand-up comic Brian Hicks will be here at 6:35. Brian's been on the show before. He's always fun. We have a little clip of his comedy we'll play either before he gets here or during, and he did a dry bar special. He's lots of fun and a very, very good comic. He will be here at 6:35, and our pal Todd Alba will be here in the second hour at 7:20. Todd is always a blast, too. The last time Todd was on, was that the popcorn pick of the week when he had the cowboy hat on and the cigar? Okay. I hope Todd feels like he doesn't have to outdo himself, because that would be tough to top.
Well, if he aces this quiz that I curated, I think he did outdo himself.
Well, Todd and I are going to go head-to-head on this quiz. And I don't like my chances, I'll be honest, because Todd, he's a Wisconsin guy through and through. I admit I'm a transplant, first as a kid, then as an adult, but it's my home now. I love Wisconsin. And Todd, I think, spent his whole life here. So he's probably got the edge, but I do like my chances. I'm going to give it my all.
We'll see.
I'm going to leave it all on the field.
It's called Where Are You?
Is that the name of the quiz?
Yeah.
All right. I asked you to do this, and I hope you didn't skew it towards the host, because I do want to face Todd in this. I feel like I love a good quiz, and sometimes on the show I give them. Sometimes I like to square off against guests, but I also don't like to make guests look bad.
No, it's very evenly matched. I didn't skew it any way.
Good. I was going to challenge Norm Kopeski to an arm wrestle, but again, I don't want to make the guest look bad, right?
I think he might pull that off.
Here's what would happen, Conrad. I'm surprisingly a good arm wrestler. I know I don't look it, but Norm, that would be a train wreck either way, because he would either destroy me immediately, and he would smack my hand down so I break a knuckle, something like that. Or, by the grace of God, somehow I would win, and I'd feel terrible because he's a sponsor.
Well,
I don't want that either.
I think if he won, he'd just feel bad for you because he's sponsoring the show, so he wants to make you feel better.
He wants to make me... See, we both want to make each other... So maybe what we should do, Norm and I should agree It's like a prize fight where they say, all right, you go down in round 3, you go down in round 5. Make it look like a draw so everybody walks away a winner.
Any Jake Paul fight, just like that.
Yeah, right. Any Jake Paul fight. Is Jake the fighter or is it the other one? The other idiot?
Both. I mean, Logan's a WWE wrestler now, and Jake is a boxer. Quote.
You know what? I got to get this Paul taste out of my mouth. So let's go to the question of the night.
About the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question. Questions.
What is your favorite pre-streaming network drama? 1 hour drama, folks. What's your favorite one? And that's before you had access to Ozark or The Sopranos or any of these streaming outlets. What was your favorite pre-streaming network 1 hour drama? I'm getting kind of specific here. They're still out there. I mean, these shows still exist. The network is still churning them out. They've got the whole, I think they're all created by Dick Wolf now. You got the FBI series. You've got the Chicago, what do they call it? Not the trilogy. One Chicago series with Med, Fire, Police. You've got the SVU, Law and Order, and the one with Elliot Stabler, which is just not that good. I've given that a lot of chances. Organized Crime, it's called. But there's a lot of other ones. There was Grey's Anatomy, ER, LA Law, NYPD Blue, Felicity, all kinds of dramas back before streaming was the bomb. I'm going to have to think about this, even though it's my question. I thought about the question last night, but I've been kind of wrestling around with this, and I don't know that there's my wife used to watch, when I first met her, we were in our early 20s, she used to watch Knots Landing. And I remember her being furious that they preempted Knots Landing for the UWGB Phoenix game because they were in the tournament. And my wife didn't care about basketball. She was livid. So I don't know. I might have to go NYPD Blue as my favorite pre-streaming network 1 hour drama. But what's yours? Let us know. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC, or you can text us on the stream. Reach out to us there, folks. We love to hear from all of you, regardless if it's the stream, if you're watching the radio, if you're listening to the radio on the app. Let us know. We'll read your text on the radio, and we will get that done. So Conrad is pointing. He's giving me the we're number one with the downward finger, which means he's pointing. We have a text, I think. No, I haven't forgotten about the Scani contest. Thank you for the reminder, but I don't have my sheet in front of me, so I was going to read it after the break. But we could do it. We can wing it. It's the Scani Summer Civic Media Text to Win contest. Let's see how I do here.
Okay,
I'm confident.
Yeah.
It's very easy to play. You do have to have the Civic Media app. That's all we ask. Download the app if you don't already have it, and listen for a keyword at 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. Look
you
at
aced
that.
It. Aced it.
Take that, Alba. I'll see you at 7:20, buddy. Get the keyword, text it in, and you're eligible to win our hourly prize, which is $100 in cash, or club-level seats to a Milwaukee Brewers baseball game. And once you enter the hour, every hour that you do enter, you're eligible for our grand prizes, which is 2 summer vacation getaways at Door County and in Baraboo, 2 of the most beautiful spots we have here in our beautiful state. And Civic Media is even throwing in gas money. All you have to do is have the app, folks. It's very easy to play. Listen at those times to get the keyword, text it in, and you are all set. Good luck, everybody. It's Civic Media's Scani Summer Text to Win contest. How did I do, Conrad?
You did great.
Damn, that's at least a B+, right?
I think that was an A-.
All right, I'll take it. Lots of fun stuff tonight. As I mentioned, Brian Hicks, we got some comedy. Todd Alba and I are going to take a quiz about Wisconsin. That's going to be fun. We talked a little bit about Dazed and Confused. Oh, we've got one of our texts from Bud, and there is a social media clip. I want to play that clip I heard. A new show on Apple TV about golf. Man, we got a lot. I don't know how we're going to do this. We've got 8 hours of show, and we've got about an hour and 40 minutes left.
I think we can do it.
I think so, too. Godspeed, Night Light. All right, we're going to do all that. We're going to read your text when we come back, and I am going to tell you all I'm going to play a clip I heard that I thought was fantastic, very uplifting. You're not going to want to miss it. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. Great to have you with me on this Wednesday night on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Todd Albaugh Show.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Medicare loses about $60 billion annually to fraud, errors, and abuse. June 2nd through the 8th is Medicare Fraud Prevention Week, focusing on the actions everyone can take to prevent, detect, and report Medicare fraud. Learn more by liking and following Wisconsin Senior Medicare Patrol on Facebook. Then visit our website, smpwi.org. For information and advice, remember, Wisconsin Senior Medicare Patrol.
Dr. Kristen Lyerly.
Mayor of Sheboygan, Ryan Sorensen.
If you want strong communities, you need to have strong quality childcare accessibility in your community. You know, whether you have kiddos or not, it impacts you, whether directly or indirectly. And that's why, you know, being supportive of programs from the state level that can support local agencies is vitally, vitally important. So it's all intertwined.
This is not just for parents of small children.
This is mission critical.
The Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show, Saturday and Sunday afternoons at 3 on WGBW and WISS and the Civic Media app.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
As Wisconsin is summer.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight.
This is
You're
Nightlight
my
with Pete Schwaba.
starlight. I need you.
Great to have you here at the Civic Media Radio Network, hanging out with us on a Monday night, broadcasting live from beautiful downtown Green Bay. Green Bay is one of the, it's one of the cities that's going to be on the Pete Schwaba Todd Albaugh quiz.
Maybe.
Well, it's got to be.
It is.
All right.
But you just don't know when it's going to happen.
No, I've, right. I think Green Bay is one of the cities. I've never lived here, but I commute
nice.
here every day. Well, yeah, sure. And I think I know enough about it. Like,
do you?
After Green Bay, I might be done. Unless Madison's other, but maybe Milwaukee. We have a great show. Brian Hicks, comedian Brian Hicks. He is a stand-up, Chicago-based stand-up comedian. Will be here at 6:35. Our pal Todd Albaugh will be here at 7:20. Host of the Todd Albaugh Show, which you can hear on Civic Media every day from 2 to 4. Produced by the amazingly talented Aaron Zommers as well. So Todd will be here at 7:20. Going to be a good time. What is your favorite 1 hour? Now, you just said something during the break. You don't really remember those shows, but they are still on. You can pick one. You don't have to go back to the 90s,
Yes, since I'm 25, when I was younger, I didn't really watch dramas. And then when I was in that age where dramas would be a thing, streaming was there.
Right.
So it was hard to, I guess I'd say either One Tree Hill or Degrassi, but I never watched them all the way through, like on network. It was just like an episode randomly at times.
Right.
So one of those, and I mean, One Tree Hill is like brings up your anxiety really bad. I feel like that show takes turns like crazy, and then Degrassi is just terrible TV. So
and you loved it.
Yeah, those are the only two I could think of though. So they're not my favorite, but those were what I grew up with, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to. My pick of the week was almost Mission Impossible 3, and Kerry Russell's in that. So she was also in a show called Felicity that I wrote promos for, kind of in a freelance capacity when the show was on the WB. That was a really good show, and J.J. Abrams was the executive producer. I think it was the first show he created. He's the one who came into the Mission Impossible franchise and gave it new blood with Mission Impossible 3 and blew me away. I was like, oh my God, this guy created this drama about a girl going to college. And it was a well-done show. I didn't really watch it much other than to write promos, but I thought Kerry Russell was great. The show was good. And then Kerry Russell shows up in Mission Impossible 3 and was outstanding and goes on to be in the show The Americans, which is a great show. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like Felicity was well done. I would have to say probably NYPD Blue. I was never really a big Med or Fire. Not the Chicago ones, but the previous ones like Chicago Hope or ER. Just never did it for me. But all right, so I saw this clip on Instagram. It was one of the few times weird stuff didn't come up on Instagram in my reels from some algorithm I apparently accidentally touched 4 years ago. But it's a great clip about gratitude, and it's from a comedian named Jimmy Carr, and it's just a nice reflection. It's like a minute long, and I love the stuff he says in this. Let's play it, Conrad.
You get used to how great your life is. No one had a hot shower until 50 years ago. So I try and do this thing when you stand in a hot shower. George Mack, my friend, pointed this out to me. Went, well, look, when you stand in a hot shower, just for a moment, just go, well, no one that you admire from 100 years ago had this simple pleasure in life. And when you look at the world that we live in, we're like, there's been 100 billion people ever, right? We are in the top percentile in terms of the luck that we have had. The lives, like the calorific intake that we just take for granted, the fact that our children don't die, in the first year, the modern medicine and our lives and the entertainment that we get. We're living like kings. And yet, life has never been objectively better and subjectively worse, because the nature of humanity is our desires are mimetic. So we've got this thing where we sort of, how happy are you? Well, it's your quality of life minus envy. That's how happy you are. And it's easy to look at everyone else and how they're doing and not take pleasure in what you have.
That is great. Objectively and subjectively, two different ways to look at something. Great perspective. And really it is envy. Like, you look at social media, everybody's life seems great. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? And I try not to have envy, but I look at that shirt you're wearing and I want it. I feel bad and I'm envious and I just don't like you right now. So it's something that's my cross to bear in this life. But that's Jimmy Carr, a British comedian who I had never heard of before I saw that on Instagram. So there are some good things on social media from time to time. But gratitude, and that's kind of the buzzword for the last 10 years, practice gratitude. But it's easy to say, but we really have to do it, I think. And part of it for me is just laughter. I appreciate the ability to laugh every day at friends, other things I see on TV shows, whatever. My kids make me laugh. I can't make my wife laugh. It's really hard to do.
Really?
Yeah. It's like most husbands struggle with, getting their wife there sexually. I can't make my wife laugh. I love bringing up stuff Conrad can't even relate. He's like, what are you talking about? He just looks at me like, all right, our question. I'm starting to share more on this show. I'm letting people in.
Yeah. You're being more open. I like it.
I am. I got nothing to hide. I'm just a good-looking rebel who plays by my own rules, folks, and doesn't like to toot his own horn. What is your favorite streaming network 1 hour drama? That is tonight's question of the night, folks. Let's go to the text line. David in Richland Center says NCIS, another franchise. Yeah, that's been around a while. Good one, David. Bronwyn, I hope I'm saying that right. Twin Peaks, very nicely done from the 505, baby. Sadly, only one season. I just started watching that again. Great text. Thank you, Bronwyn. I hope I'm saying that right. Annie from Watertown says, oh no, NYPD Blue. Thank you, Annie. That's mine as well. Steven from the 262 says, Hill Street Blues, great show. I wonder if they hold up. You know, we should all watch an episode of these to see if they hold up. Don Brown in Waukesha, our pal Donnie B, Hill Street Blues. I agree, Don. Come back on my show, buddy. All right, we're coming right back. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Tom Hartman here. You're listening to 97.9 WGBW.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at...
Hey, Brian, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just want to do a quick sound check.
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
Judge Stuart J. Waddles has more.
Appearing on WISN 12's Upfront program, Senator Ron Johnson called for the maximum sentence for Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan.
If the facts bolster it, and sure looks like she obstructed justice, she ought to really be sentenced to the maximum sentence.
Judge Dugan is accused of helping an undocumented migrant escape ICE agents. Dugan has pleaded not guilty and is asking for the case to be thrown out, citing judicial immunity.
Meanwhile, people who know the law think the case against Judge Hannah Dugan should be dismissed. Joanne Krulats explains.
Dozens of retired state and federal judges think the case against Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan should be dismissed. Dugan is facing federal charges for allegedly obstructing immigration and customs enforcement agents in April as they tried to detain Mexican immigrant Eduardo Flores Ruiz at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Flores Ruiz was arrested outside of the courthouse a short time later, and the FBI arrested Dugan at the courthouse a week later. An amicus brief in Dugan's case was filed Friday, signed by 138 retired judges, including former federal judges appointed by Republican and Democratic presidents. Echoing arguments made by Dugan's attorneys, the judges conclude her conduct seems in line with official acts of a judge. For that reason, she should be immune from prosecution.
From local news to what's going on around the state, Civic Media's mission is to bring you real news and great conversation. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The King of the Hill actor who provided the voice for character John Redcorn has been killed in a shooting. TMZ reports that Jonathan Joss was found at the side of a road, shot several times. First responders tried life-saving measures, but pronounced him dead at the scene. Sources say Joss was shot by a neighbor after a disagreement. Police did track down the shooter within a few minutes. Joss played Redcorn from season 2 to season 13 of the hit animated show. Jonathan Joss was 59 years old. The Penguin's secret crush is no longer a secret. Danny DeVito had a good old-fashioned showbiz crush on Catwoman. The Twins star said when he was in Batman Returns, he had the hots for co-star Michelle Pfeiffer. DeVito sat down with Colin Farrell, also known for his role as the Penguin, on Variety's Actors on Actors podcast, where the two traded Batman stories. DeVito said Pfeiffer was his secret crush. DeVito says he lusted after her and loved her. Lucky girl. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This report sponsored by the City of Marinette, home of the Queen Marinette Run the River Powerboat Races, June 7th and 8th. More details at fishonmarinette.com.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy tonight, some areas of smoke and lows in the low 50s. A return to sunshine for tomorrow. Pleasant day. Highs in the upper 70s. Couple of pop-up showers on Friday, partly sunny, high mid-70s. Currently at 75 degrees.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
Matt and Air on Air.
Rick Breedis here, an economics instructor.
Remember the film Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? A driver is riding parallel to him and honking their horn and saying, "You're going the wrong way." And Candy and Steve Martin go, "Ha ha ha, how do they know where we're headed?" Congress and the administration are saying, "This is what we're going to do for our budget." But at the end of the day, the Congressional Budget Office basically said that bill is going to create another $3.8 trillion in debt over the next 10 years.
Matt and Air on Air, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, join us next time as Emily Mills will join us.
With Peach Schwaba, folks. It is a beautiful evening here in the state of Wisconsin. We are in downtown Green Bay, where there are people walking back and forth, staring into the studio as they shovel gelato into their pie holes. And that, folks, is what summer means to me. Todd Albaugh will be here at 7:20. We are going to take a Wisconsin quiz. I am a two-time transplant to our fair state. Todd is a lifelong resident. I still like my chances. Todd is always fun to have on the show. Check out the Todd Albaugh Show here on the network from 2 to 4 every day. And it's going to be fun. So stick around. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite pre-streaming network hour-long drama? We've got some text to get to. We'll get to those as soon as we can on the stream. Dave Kunish from Marinette, Moonlighting. Kind of forgot about Moonlighting. That was a great show. Sybil Shepherd, Bruce Willis. Kind of a different show. Dave also says 24, and you know what? I am changing my answer from NYPD Blue to 24. 24 was such a great concept. The season went on way too long. There were like 3 seasons within a season. But as far as network drama goes, I don't think you can beat that. It was really cool.
You know, I was going to say the same thing. I'm changing my answer to 24 because
24?
I remember watching that with my parents, actually, when I was younger. So, yeah.
And you thought there was a terrorist around every corner when...
It's 11.
How soon are you going back to Key West? Right now, I'm very excited to welcome my next guest to the show. He's been here before. He is a Chicago-based stand-up comedian and one haluva guy, and his name is Brian Hicks. Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm present. How are you, Pete?
You're present. All right, well, I was aiming higher than that, but I'll take that.
I'm here. I'm doing great. No, thanks for having me.
That's excellent. Where are you? That looks like an interesting contraption there.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I've got some people who go out of their way for me. So I'm in the manager's office at Zany's in Rosemont, Illinois. So.
Oh wow! So is that the club you're running, or I thought it was downtown?
I'm running downtown, but I'm also present here, as I mentioned earlier, at the Rosemont location. So I'm kind of back and forth between both clubs.
Wow.
That's
not a bad side hustle for a comedian, right?
Yeah. I wish I could call it my side hustle, but yeah, I guess it is.
Or maybe at this point, comedy's your side hustle.
That's it. It's it is a great gig. They treat me very well here, and super excited to be part of their team.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite drama, like a pre-streaming, like something you used to watch in the 90s or something?
Yeah, I mean, I was listening earlier when you were talking about it. I'm embarrassed to say, but you know what I really used to like? Desperate House.
Listening?
No, I was embarrassed. Embarrassed that I'm saying
embarrassed
this
to be
you.
here, so don't feel bad at all, Brian.
I don't even know. I guess it was a drama, but I used to watch Desperate Housewives every Sunday, and it was just like a staple at our house. I know it wasn't.
Was it a good show?
It was. I thought it was a really good show. I mean, it was something I got to do with my wife every week. It was like the 1 hour we spent together each week, and it meant a lot to me.
That was it. That was the only hour, and you watched Desperate Housewives.
It's the only hour we enjoyed each other's company every week.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's
and
all right.
I know you're kidding.
Yeah, of
You
course.
have a beautiful family. I see some of your Facebook
Yeah.
posts. Your kids are getting bigger. Are you when you have kids like and mine? I'm more or less an empty nester now. But does it make it easier for you to travel to do stand up? Are you more willing to travel now that you don't have the young kids at home?
Yeah, I did a fair share of traveling when they were younger. It would certainly be easier to do it now, but with working at both the clubs, it's just tougher to get away now. So I'm doing less traveling probably now than I did before. But it would be easier if I had the opportunity to do it.
But it's easier when they're younger because when you travel, you get a break from the kids, which is
Yeah,
nice.
well, that's the thing. Like, my wife would get upset because I would be on the road and she's at home with, twins. We had twins at one point, so they're 2 or 3, and she's like, I haven't slept, and I'm like, you think I sleep good in these hotels? I had to make it sound like I wasn't, napping for 4 hours each day.
You think I'm living the king's life, hanging out with waitresses till 3 o'clock in the morning? And come on.
I got up at 10 o'clock this morning. I went to have breakfast. They didn't have it anymore.
I couldn't get a moons over my hammy. That's hilarious. So I went to your website because I was like, we haven't talked in a while. I'm like, I'm going to check out Brian's website. And this is how rusty I am, Brian, and how embarrassed I am that I used to call myself a comic. I thought this was a great joke. When I noticed on your website, the bio, it said, you were one of the most sought after comedians in America. And I was going to say, do you mean comedically? That's so bad. And then I look at the next line and you go, no, I'm not wanted by the police. You were 8 steps ahead of me. And
I knew
terribly
what you were
embarrassed.
thinking already.
You knew I was going to ask you that when you set up your website, and I didn't even know you then.
That's right. Yeah.
So, that's so cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks for going to my website. I was wondering who that one click was, and now questions are answered.
You get the notifications. Are you? I saw in your schedule though. You're in Glenview, Illinois this weekend. I know we have some listeners in the Chicago area. Is that the Laughing Academy? It looks like, and that's
yeah, it's a nice little room. They teach comedy to kids and stuff, and I think comedy classes in general. But yeah, it's a nice little room in Glenview, and yeah, it should be fun. It's like a Father's Day themed show because of the weekend coming up. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I've been there a few times.
That makes sense. It sounded very scholastic, so I'm not surprised by that. And do you not work the road much anymore? I remember when I met you, I had just moved back to Wisconsin, and you and our pal Mike Toomey were driving through Marinette.
Yeah.
And that's how I met you. I had never met you before, so I think you guys were coming from the UP. Do you still travel to bring the funny?
Yeah, that's correct. We were coming from the UP. I think we had done a tour around. We went up the Michigan side, did a show over in probably Brimley or something, and then came back and did something over in the other side, the Wisconsin side. And then we came down and obviously stopped and saw you. So yeah, I do still do some of that stuff. Honestly, I probably do more corporate stuff now than I have in the past. It's a lot easier and it pays better. The shows aren't as great, but I still get my fix.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny when I heard you were working at Zany's. Are you like the GM now, or do you have a
general manager?
So I won a contest there for college kids in like 1989.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, that downtown room, it's so cramped," and I love it. I love the character of it, and I have such great memories of going to see Skip Kaparis and Larry Reeb and Jimmy Higgins and all these guys. What's your take? And Rosemont, on the other hand, is a state-of-the-art room. It's brand new, beautifully designed.
Sure.
Very different rooms. Do you have an opinion on either one of them?
Yeah, I agree 100%. The downtown room has so much character. I mean, you walk in and you just comedy is just clinging to your body. You're like everybody who's ever done anything has gone through there at one point in their career. And some of them, even if they hadn't earlier on, they come back just to do it because they've heard so many things about the room. It's definitely wasn't made to be a comedy club, so that's what makes it unique. Where Rosemont was built to be a comedy club, so they took all the good things about some other clubs and made it into that. But I have so many comics that come through and they just say this room is great. It's just it's very narrow and it's very low ceilings and compact, and Typical downtown, like back in the 80s, I guess, when comedies, used to be downtown, Pete, and the Funny Firm, I think, had 300 seats. And I went there the first time, and I was sitting at a table about this big, and there were 8 of us sitting around it with our drinks, trying to lobby for drink
Not
space
to
on the
spill,
table.
yeah.
Yeah, they would just cram people in there. It was crazy that they got away with it.
That's hilarious. So what is it like for you? Like, I'm kind of, a lot of the comedians I knew don't have the capacity to actually run a club. They're lucky if they can get to the show and collect their money at the end of the week. Like, for you to do what you're doing, you must be one of the responsible ones, I'm guessing. Do you if you had to pick right now, would you keep doing stand-up or do what you're doing?
Well, I that's a great question. And I started working at a comedy club years and years and years ago. I started as a door guy, and I was the manager after like 2 weeks, because I think it was just that, Pete. The owner was like, "Oh, this guy seems pretty responsible. We should give him more to do." So I started managing, like just the floor manager of the room back then. I think I love doing comedy still to this day. I love it as much as I did when I started 25 years ago. So there's something to be said for that, because there's some people in the business who don't love doing it. I still like writing jokes, even though I don't do it as often as I should. When I do create a joke and I love it and it works, I'm like, this is why I keep doing it. But to feed the family, it's tough to make a living on the road. I mean, unless you're starting comedy now it's really easy. You just get one video that goes viral and you're eating for a month.
That's interesting. I want to talk about that. My guest is Brian Hicks. He's a Chicago-based stand-up comedian, but I met him in Wisconsin, which was kind of cool. He has had his own dry bar comedy special. We'll talk about that because it's great. But I want to stay on the club. What you just said, somebody gets a video and it goes viral. I was talking to my friend Mike Siegel yesterday, and we were kind of lamenting what other comics have said, that if someone has a social media following, they can get booked in a comedy club. And they might not be the funniest person in the world, but they're going to put butts in the seats.
Yeah.
Where do you walk that line? Because I've talked to friends of mine here in Wisconsin that deal with the same thing. Do you book these guys even though they might not be that funny?
Yeah. So here's what I will tell you from a club standpoint. Zany's Downtown used to be 6 days a week. I think it was Tuesday through Sunday, and it'd be the same show all week long. It'd be Larry Reeb all week long, Tim Walco all week long, Pete Schwaba all week long. And to get filled, 120 seats 6 nights a week and multiple shows on Friday and Saturday, to fill that all week long, it's very difficult to do, right? So now with the influencer, I guess you would call them, TikTokers, podcasters, whatever, it brings a new dynamic to it. So now on a Monday night, when we usually would have 20 people in the room, or a Tuesday night, 20 people in the room, we could book one of those acts and they'll sell it out. Tonight we have 2 shows for Christina Marinari. I might be butchering her last name. I apologize. But she's Kill Tony fame, and, was on Kill Tony and went viral with it and sold out 2 shows on a Wednesday night downtown. So I think from a club standpoint, it's great for business. And she's a comedian, so that I can take that out of the equation, where she may not be funny, because she is. But on other people are just happy to see who they follow and happy to see who their influencers are. And sometimes that's what it is. And most of the people that they bring in have never been to a comedy club before, Pete. So it's good for business too, because if they come, they have a good time, and then they spread out into the other comedy shows.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, Brian, but I've got 185 followers on Blue Sky. So
are you kidding me? That is.
Where do I sign? Where's my bonus?
Yeah, we'll start with a Sunday matinee show, and then we'll work up from there.
I'll do my magic tricks. So that's interesting. But it's kind of the same, like when I was doing stand-up in the 90s, they'd bring in a guy who was on a TV show. I remember Mark Price, who played Skippy on not All in the Family, but Family Ties. And I'm like, well, this guy's not funny, but it's the same thing. He was on TV, so people go see him. So
Sure.
I guess it's not really that different.
It really isn't. Yeah. Think about back in the day, lots of celebrities would come and just do a spot, and people would show up. I mean, we still have soap opera stars that come. I didn't even think soap operas were on anymore, but we still have a star that comes to the club and sells 150 tickets on a Saturday afternoon. So there's definitely a place for it.
Brian Hicks is my guest. We'll have a few more minutes with Brian after this very quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to play a little clip from his Dry Bar special, too, which is outstanding. We're coming right back. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Light on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I wanna cry, cry, cry alone when you're feeling blue. I'm waiting just for you. Someone's living for love. Someone's living for love.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
Summer, summer, summer.
It's time for Civic Media's Scotty Summer Text to Win contest right here on this local Civic Media radio station. We want to hook you up with $100 cash, Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, and the chance to win a summer getaway to the Wisconsin Dells area or an escape to Door County. Download the free Civic Media app in the Google Play or App Store. Then listen in for the keywords during the 7 and 11 a.m. hour and 2 and 4 p.m. hour. Text in the keyword and get set to win. It's Civic Media's Scotty Summer.
Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley for over 30 years and are proud sponsors of Mino and the Mayor's Eye on the Community. Insight offers comprehensive eye care, including glasses and contact lenses. Their doctors have a special interest in treating chronic eye disease, specialty contact lenses, and pediatric care. Find Insight on Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Visit wiinsight.com to schedule your eye exam. Improving lives by improving sight. Insight Eye Care.
Rebel Eddies is your solution for auto detailing in Midwest Wisconsin. They specialize in top-tier services, including deep cleaning and detailing, paint corrections, ceramic coatings, wax oil undercoatings, window tinting, and more. And they take pride in delivering professional results every time. Rebel Eddies is family and veteran-owned and operated. Bookings are available as soon as 1 week. Call 920-671-8984 or visit rebeleddies.com. Rebel Eddies Detailing. Restore, protect, maintain.
The annual Alloway Fest Picnic and Car Show is back. Hey, it's Amanda with another new Wisco 411 for you, brought to you by Area 509 in Appleton. And the 40th annual fest is happening this upcoming Sunday from 10 till 3 p.m. There'll be food and refreshments, face painting, bounce houses, kids games, and the new Zoo's Zoomobile. You say that 10 times fast. There's so much going on, I can't even list it all. Go to WGBW.FM and click events.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Great to have you with me on this Wednesday night. Todd Alba will be here at 7:20. One of your favorite Civic Media hosts. We are going to square off in a quiz about Wisconsin. I've got the chills. Right now, we have Brian Hicks is here. He is a friend of mine and a Chicago-based stand-up comedian, and also the general manager of Zanies, a very famous Chicago comedy outfit. Brian, what is it weird that you have the same name as a very famous comedian, same last name? Did that put pressure on you when you started doing stand-up comedy?
Incredible pressure, Pete. I don't even know how I was able to get out of my first open mic. There was so many questions. Like, who are you? Are you Bill? Are you Bill? You're Bill, right? You're Bill.
Could you ride that a little bit? Yeah, he's my cousin, Bill Hicks.
I certainly tried, but here was the thing: like I would have people bring me up on stage, and they'd ask me my name, and then I'd say Brian Hicks, and then they'd bring me up as Bill Hicks, and then as I was walking up, they would be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I go, "You're sorry. Imagine how sorry these people are going to be."
Brian did a dry bar comedy special a couple of years ago, and we have a little clip from that here, and we'll talk about it after the clip. Here's Brian Hicks.
I think me and my wife are perfect for each other. We argue, but it's not yelling arguing. It's all verbal. You know, it's like a verbal. It's mind games with each other. We just go back and forth, try to one up the other one. I'll be honest. I usually lose the argument. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because my wife cheats in the middle of the argument, and I never catch it because I'm not listening. And yeah, that's on me. I get it, right? But I don't think you should be able to cheat in the middle of the argument. She switches the argument, and I don't ever catch it. I'm gonna tell you what happened. See if you guys could see. So we were watching TV, and then she fell asleep, right? So I grabbed the remote and I put the game on, and then she woke up like an hour later. She goes, "Oh my God, what happened? What happened?" I go, "Well, you fell asleep, so I put the game on." She goes, "Well, I was only sleeping for like 5 minutes." I go, "Honey, you were sleeping for over an hour." She goes, "So what are you saying? I'm not allowed to take a nap?" Yeah, that's not what we're arguing about here, right? Yeah, but I didn't just wake up from an hour's sleep. I was on my game this day, right? So I said, "Listen, I'm not saying you're not allowed to take a nap. I'm saying if you are napping, you are not allowed to work the remote control." That's what I'm saying. Because if we're being honest with each other, your choices, they're not that great. In fact, your last one put you to sleep.
Oh, that's Brian Hicks. Check out his dry bar comedy special. Just you can go on the Google, right, Brian? Brian
Yeah,
Hicks
you
dry
can
bar.
Google
Should
it,
take you
yeah.
right there, right?
Yeah.
You had another. I mean, the whole special's great. I've seen it, but have you ever actually used Kohl's Cash?
Have I think I collect the Kohl's Cash and I give it to my wife, and then it gives her an excuse to go back to the store within 7 days and purchase something else.
I find that intimidating.
It is.
The
Hey,
Kohl's
and
Cash.
real quick, let's go back to the dry bar special. So
Yeah.
that is approaching 1 million views. Pete. I
Oh,
don't know
no
if you know it.
way.
Got 986,178 views, and I'm not keeping track, but I just happen to know that number off the top of my head. So in a world that I came up, there was no crazy internet media, that stuff. To be coming up on 1 million views for me is very exciting time, as you can imagine.
Dude, that is fantastic. Look, best case scenario, we'll get you to 1 million tonight just from the listeners, but
That's what I'm
I
talking
hope we
about.
can cut into that a little bit. That's really, were you nervous when you did that? Like, I didn't stick around long enough to even have an opportunity to do a half-hour special, but a lot of my friends did, and I feel like I would have been terrified. Were you scared?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'll be honest with you, every time I would put a camera on me to record, I would crap the bed, right? it would be a horrible set. So when I book that, you fly out to Utah, it's one night, 2 shows. And I had in my mind, I put it in my mind, I go, once I get there and I do the set, it was like 20 or 25 minutes, whatever it was each show. That's the easy part. I do that 5 times a week. I go, the hard part is the getting up, traveling, get to the airport, check into the hotel, rest enough, get a rental car, go. So I looked at it and I go, that's the hard part of this gig. I go, when I'm on stage doing it was the easy part. And it really was. I usually get, if somebody does really well in front of me, it really gets into my mindset. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to hate me, So the guy in front of me was doing really well. And I left the building because I didn't want to hear the crowd when he got off the stage. Right. So it worked for me because I left and I came back in before they announced me. And I didn't have I was like, yeah, he did good, but I go, I know I could do good too. So I did. And it was probably the best filming I've ever done in my life. So I was happy that it turned out into that.
Well, closing in on 1 million views, that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
I'm sure you'll get there. That's great. Were you always clean? Because I know dry bar, you have to be clean to do a dry bar comedy special. Did you have to clean up your act, or were you already in the perfect situation?
Yeah, no, my stuff, even when I started, I don't know, I just naturally kind of wrote clean. I wrote dirty jokes too, but I don't know. I was always just a cleaner comic. And comics who would come to the club that I worked at, they would know that and see that. And then I got a lot of work with them because they'd see I was clean and they go, oh, I could bring this guy and he can open for me. So I was just clean. So I didn't really have to change a lot for Dry Bar. There were a couple jokes that I stayed away from or kind of just tweaked them a little bit. But for the most part, it was pretty just me doing my setup there.
That's fantastic. Are you in a hurry? Can we keep you through the news and for a couple more minutes?
Yeah, sure. I got a couple more minutes.
You got your wardrobe laid out behind you, hanging on the door there. I can see it's very spiffy.
That's my Doug Stanhope jacket that I like. It's my homage to Doug Stanhope.
Fantastic. All right, Brian Hicks is going to stick around for a few more minutes. I'm going to ask him what he's watching and who his influences were and comics he's looked up to. We'll do all that after intermission, folks. Civic Media's news team is about to tell you what's up. Stick around for that as well. I'm Pete Schwaba. We are coming right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Goes to show you never can tell. They furnished off in an apartment with a two-room robot sale. The coolerator was crammed with TV dinners and ginger ale. But when Pierre found work, the little money come and worked out well. C'est la vie, said the old folks. Goes to show you never can tell.
This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. President Trump's big budget bill in jeopardy. Billionaire and former Doge leader Elon Musk on X posting, quote, "We need a new bill that doesn't grow the deficit." House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We worked on the bill for almost 14 months. You can't go back to the drawing board, and we shouldn't. We have a great product to deliver here.
The father suspected of killing his 3 school-aged daughters near a Washington state campground is on the run. The public has been warned that 32-year-old Travis Decker could be armed and has military training. A federal judge blocking the deportation of the Boulder, Colorado firebombing suspect's family this afternoon, scheduling a hearing for later this month to hear the case. They told investigators no one knew that Mohammed Suleiman was going to carry out that attack at a demonstration to free Israeli hostages in Gaza. On a phone call today, President Trump says Vladimir Putin told him he will, quote, have to respond to Ukraine's major drone attack that damaged dozens of Russian military aircraft. This is ABC News.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. In discussions over the so-called Big Beautiful Bill backed by Donald Trump that's making its way through Congress, none other than Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson has emerged as the most prominent Republican critic of the bill, saying at a recent Milwaukee Press Club event that it is, quote, not even close to adequate. Johnson has said he wants spending cuts to go even further, including making cuts to Medicaid. But Johnson's position as a critic of this bill makes him especially influential in these negotiations. But let's not forget the last time he was in a similar position. In 2017, he was a critic of the Trump tax cut bill, but what he fought for was a tax break for certain types of businesses. Perhaps not coincidentally, businesses owned by his largest donors, Dick and Liz Uline. In 2018 alone, the Ulines received more than $200 million in tax breaks because of this bill. So as the Big Beautiful Bill is negotiated in the Senate, let's not forget this piece of recent history.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Bellevue wants to spend 100,000 Brown County dollars to buy new voting tabulator machines before the February 2026 elections. Current machines are 12 years old, with a typical lifespan of 10 years. City officials also want to go from 4 to 10 machines. They say newer machines will be more secure and will provide faster voting experiences. The Brown County Board of Supervisors will vote on the proposal during its June 18th meeting. If you've driven on I-41 in the Fox Valley anytime in the past few years, you may have noticed the billboards blaming Ascension St. Elizabeth Hospital in Appleton for the death of 19-year-old Grace Shara during the COVID-19 pandemic. The wrongful death jury trial against the hospital began yesterday in Outagamie County Circuit Court. The prosecution claims doctors negligently gave Shara a lethal combination of medications and violated informed consent. The defense argued she died of a severe COVID-19 infection. The trial is expected to last up to a month. U.S. Senator Ron Johnson is calling for Wisconsin to lift its vaccine requirements for kids attending school or child care programs. During an event in Milwaukee last week, Senator Johnson says he believes
the Milwaukee Brewers win again. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kuska filling in for Mike Clemens. Milwaukee defeated Cincinnati 9-1 today to take 2 of 3 games of the series. Jackson Churio had 3 hits, including a 2-run home run to help spark the Brewers' offense. 3 Brewers pitchers combined to allow just 4 hits and 1 run, with Quinn Priester getting the victory. It's the 9th win for the Brewers in their past 10 games. Milwaukee heads back home to play the San Diego Padres starting on Friday. With a 21-5 victory today over Messiah, UW-Whitewater clinched the Division III College Baseball Championship. It's the Warhawks' 3rd title and first since 2014. Coach John Vodenlich said the Warhawks have had a potent offense all season.
This is who they are. This is a good reflection of what they've done many times. Once again, not on this type of stage, but I've seen that happen a lot.
Whitewater allowed just 19 runs in 5 games at the College World Series, putting up 20 runs of their own in the clinching game. The Warhawks finished the season at 49-6, with all 6 losses coming against fellow WIAC teams. Filling in for Mike Clemens, I'm Jimmy Kuska with Civic Media Sports.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy tonight, some areas of smoke and lows in the low 50s. A return to sunshine for tomorrow. Pleasant day. Highs in the upper 70s. Couple of pop-up showers on Friday, partly sunny, high mid-70s. Currently at 75 degrees.
The Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show.
It's Pride Month, and Northeast Wisconsin is blooming with opportunities to celebrate. Dana Johnson with Fox Valley Pride and Mel Davis of Rainbow Alliance Advocacy will be our guides.
Saturday and Sunday afternoons at 3. The Maggie Dawn Show.
Lily Roberts, she is from the Center for American Progress Action Fund.
They're trying to pretend that this bill would be good for the working class because of this really small carve out to our tax laws. The no tax on tips piece does not at all even come close to addressing the problem of wages in this country. You know, 1/3 of workers who work for tips in the first place don't make enough money to pay taxes at all.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekday afternoons 4 until 6 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Todd Albaugh Show.
State Senator Kelda Royce. The vast majority of people on Medicaid are already working, and it is Medicaid that makes it possible for them to work. People who are disabled or have chronic illnesses and without that health care, they would be out of the workforce. They would have no ability to participate in the economy, and now they can. Medicaid is one of the greatest workforce programs this country has ever built, and they are trying to dismantle it, and with it, they're going to take people's lives and economic security.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who once tore his ACL playing chess, Pete Schwaba.
Hey, welcome back. This is Nite, folks. I am Pete Schwaba. We are kicking off Act 2 here of this evening's broadcast. Great to have you with me. Our question of the night is, what was your favorite hour-long drama before the age of streaming? What show did you watch? Conrad and I both changed our answers and said 24 after someone on the stream mentioned 24. I had totally forgotten about the show, but as far as network shows go, I loved that show. So we've heard some great ones. Please share yours and be part of the fun. We will read your text on the radio. We talked a lot with Brian Hicks, our guest in the first hour, who has agreed to stick around for a few more minutes. Brian is a stand-up comedian based in Chicago and also is the general manager of Zanies in Rosemont and downtown. 2 great comedy rooms. Brian, have you worked Wisconsin much?
Yeah, I got about 1 minute and then I got to shoot out of here, Pete. But
okay.
No, that's okay. You're fine. I got yeah. In fact, Wisconsin, honestly, Michigan, Wisconsin, the whole Midwest, it's really my favorite area to work. It seems like the crowds are so friendly and they're really accommodating. I haven't done a ton of stuff elsewhere, but the people and audiences seem a little bit different. But the Midwest, Wisconsin especially, and Michigan, they're grateful. Like, I know you were talking about being grateful earlier. They're grateful that you're bringing comedy to where they're at, which is cool.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, and that's I totally get it. Do you have a quick road story you can share, or should we save that to another time? If you got a comedy drama happening there at the club and need to go, we totally understand.
Well, I do remember one time I was doing the Funny Bone in Columbus, Ohio. It was Thursday through Sunday, and the whole time there was like, oh, this incredible, the worst storm we've ever seen is coming. It's going to be snowfall for days, and then it's going to drop to below 20 degrees. And I watched the news all weekend long as I was doing these shows. And I was supposed to do a show Sunday night, and I text the manager. I go, hey, man, I got to go. I go, something happened at home. I got to get out of here. And I wanted to get home before the storm hit. And I started to go, and I made it to Lafayette, Indiana, and everything was shut down. The interstate was shut down. Everything was shut down. And I got stuck there for 2 days in beautiful Lafayette, Indiana.
Oh, that is so depressing.
Yeah.
You'd rather be somewhere getting heckled than
absolutely
be in some hotel. Well, listen,
Yeah.
dude, this is fun. Great catching up again. And go run your club and bring the funny to the people. And let's try to talk again at some point. Great having you.
Thanks so much, Pete. I appreciate it. Thanks, Conrad.
You got it. All right.
Bye,
That's
bye.
Brian Hicks. Check out Brian Hicks, funnybrianhicks.com. And you can check out Brian's dates if you're in the Chicago area. And he will keep you apprised on his website of where he will be performing. But a good dude and a great comic. So there you go. Conrad, all right. So we have a text from last night. I don't like to miss texts. So we had Bud, and I think I brought them in here. I printed up the text because it's easier for me to keep track. This is Bud, our friend from Janesville, who texted us at 4:15 a.m. Bud is out delivering papers in the Madison area and says, hey, Pete, it's nice to be approved. And see, here's the problem, Conrad. I don't remember when people send a text, it's hard to remember what we were talking about when they're commenting on it. Does that ring a bell for you?
Yeah, I've been trying to think about it. It doesn't ring a bell.
You
But
think
it
he
sounds.
bought a blue check mark on Twitter? Is that what he's going after there?
I don't know. It sounds like something you'd say, though.
He says, love it. My sense of humor, love the show. Bud from Janesville. Bud, we love that you listen. Thank you for texting. Again, our question tonight is, what is your favorite hour-long drama? Like network drama, folks. Think before streaming was a thing. Because now there's so much, and this goes to show you, like, there are a ton of great TV shows on. There are episodics you can, many in some cases, on all the platforms that are really well done. And now think back to the 90s or even the 80s, God forbid. There were 3 channels. And I hate to say this, but like the shows that are on now on the streaming platforms are so much better. They take more chances. They're better written. They're edgier. They make those shows look so lame. And thank God we didn't know that at the time. Like even 24. Well done, a thriller for a network show. That would be 8 episodes, and it would be so tight. Because I will say, when I gave 24 a rewatch about 6 years ago, there was a lot of streaming available. It was hard to get through, even though when I first watched it, I thought it was a great show. But it just goes on too long. Seasons should not be 24 episodes, or even 22. I love the way the British shows do it. Annie from Watertown says St. Elsewhere. How do you like that? I never watched that show.
I didn't even know that was a show.
It is. Another medical drama. Thank you, Annie. Tom from New Berlin says, Conrad, that's the joy of golf. You would have been just happy you struck the ball clean. So there you go. That's a text for Conrad. And then we read, Civic Media's own Luke Mathers. Love Luke. He says, ER. Yeah, ER. Honestly, ER is probably, if this was a contest tonight, if this were a contest, that would probably win if it came to like Emmy wins. Annie from Watertown says, after ice skating, we settled in and watched the first episode of NYPD Blue. The ending was, oh my. And she says, hooked. I got to be honest, Annie, I don't remember what that first episode was, but I remember there was some incredible TV and some incredible writing on that show. The scene where Jimmy Smits' character passes away and he's holding his wife's hand, who I think is Kim Delaney, and they lost a baby, and then they show him in the afterlife kind of holding his baby's hand. Oh, my God. It was very powerful. In fact, I had the pleasure, this was fun. I wrote promos for Army Wives, a show Kim Delaney was on. And I brought that up to her. We just had a moment offset, and she said, "Oh, yeah." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." That was like maybe one of my favorite network drama moments of all time. And it was a gig to her. Not that she didn't love it or throw herself into the role, but she had worked on so many shows, she barely remembered it. And it was a pivotal moment in my life. Anna from Madison says, my favorite pre-streaming drama was The Sopranos. See, I would put Sopranos in the streaming category, but I guess you're right, Anna. That was...
You know what I'd love to see? Like, if I, back in when Sopranos was streaming, is how it ended. I'd love to see that, how that actually happened on TV when it just went blank.
So you have seen it, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but like, instead of streaming
the first time,
watching it week to week, and then seeing it just blank out at the end and just nothing.
We should do a thing about that, because that was a pretty that was a... I don't know. I liked it.
The first episode of Family Guy this season, they remade it, and it's the funniest. It's
Sopranos? Like the parody?
They remade the ending with... Well, I gotta share you the clip, and you just watch it because it's hilarious. But they do it with a animated kid's character. It's hilarious.
Yeah, share it. Let's play it. If we maybe play it tomorrow night or something. But yeah, definitely share it with me. But that was controversial. I remember that. We'll have to have a talk about that some night. And then Tom from Monona, he's in the 608. He says, loved Freaks and Geeks, another great show. I kind of forgot about.
Love that. I didn't watch it when it was out, obviously, but I did watch it on Hulu, where it is now.
Is it on Hulu now?
And it's only one season, but I think it's hilarious. So
wait, was the whole show one season?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
They didn't make a second season. Well, I wish they would have, though.
Yeah. We have a call?
Yes, we do. Ollie from the North Woods.
Oh, Ollie, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. You guys are great tonight, and I love your comedian.
Brian.
It's nice to hear something that you can actually hear without having to cover your eyes.
Or in this case, your ears on radio.
Or ears. Perfect, yeah.
Well, it's our pleasure, Ollie. What's on your mind?
I have two favorites, but I'm not sure if either one of them are being streamed or not. One was Jag.
Oh, yeah.
And the other was Criminal Minds.
Okay, Ollie, Criminal Minds is still on. You have to stream it now. I don't think it's on network TV, but they're in like their 18th season.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't have TV. I haven't had TV for years, but when I worked out and could watch TV with my clients. So.
Oh, nice. Well,
I missed a lot of that.
Do yourself a favor, Ollie, and get yourself a new TV, because you need to watch color television.
Oh, that sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much, Ollie. Have a great night.
Okie doke. Bye-bye.
That's a great one. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one, too. Jim from Appleton says, Heroes. I don't know Heroes. I remember it, but I really don't. Was that the Hayden Panettiere show?
I'll have to go to Google.
Go to the Google, yeah. Tom from New Berlin says, back in the day, Rockford Files, Perry Mason, and Magnum P.I. It's interesting. Tom, there is a Perry Mason on HBO, a remake of the, he's still a PI in season 1, but it's great. It's much grittier, obviously, than the network television version, but check it out. I'd be curious to see if you like it. Paul from Spooner says, loved Twin Peaks. Another vote for Twin Peaks. Yeah, Twin Peaks was outstanding. Just a beautifully shot show. Todd Michaels, our pal, who was on the show last night, says House. Yeah, forgot about House. Great show. Edgy for network TV.
I didn't know that show was what it was when I was younger. I thought it was actually about a house. I didn't know it was his last name.
That would be riveting television.
I didn't know it was young.
Two people admiring their dwelling. Annie from Watertown says, I was texting about shows. It was the first episode of Hill Street Blues. That was so, oh my gosh. Hill Street Blues, Saint Elsewhere, and NYPD Blue. I'm getting lost in all these shows that really got me watching. More television than a busy, socially active, long work hours, etc. 20-something. Oh my God, 30-something. That was big. Quite a plethora of shows that kept us watching week after week. Great text, Annie. And you're right. You kind of live for those shows. You know, you knew it was on Tuesday. You knew it was on Thursday or any weeknight. And then you'd always have that weeknight where there wasn't really a good show on. So you either slum it or find some other way to occupy your time. But great text, everybody. We'll go to the stream here. Dave on the stream said MASH. That wasn't an hour long, but that was a good show, Dave. Thank you. And Dallas. Yeah, Dallas was a big one. And I said earlier my wife loved Knots Landing. I never got into those dramas that much. But I did watch Dallas. Dallas was pretty controversial. And I remember there was the whole Who Shot JR episode. PJ on the stream says Knight Rider and the A-Team were my favorites. Remember those very well. I didn't really watch Knight Rider. I did watch A-Team when it first came on. You ever watch those, Con?
I've never watched. No,
Do yourself a favor. Check out Mr. T and the A-Team.
So, since we do our social media we do our question on social media on Facebook. Yeah. JB commented today.
This is funny. Yeah, read this. This is great.
He twisted it a little bit.
But wait, well, set up here. I'll set up the question.
Yeah,
then you read JB's response. What is your favorite pre-streaming network drama? Here is JB, the guy behind the guy's response on social media.
You and Conrad having technical difficulties before you start the show?
Oh man, those are fighting words, JB. You know what? You're not even the guy behind the guy behind the guy anymore. Now you're just the guy behind the guy. So you got to earn that back, pal. Thank you, JB, for the text. Mark from Prairie to Sac says Chuck was great. Yeah, I remember Chuck. Nice. And Lori from Hayward says, hey, Pete just climbed into the Wayback Machine and was thinking about watching the Waltons and Little House on the Prairie. Now that's going back. And she put this crazy laughy emoji. So I don't know if she's joking or not, but I think a lot of listeners would agree with you, Lori. I don't think I could sit through one of those episodes now, for sure. But a nice trip down memory lane. Thank you. Great text, everybody. Keep them coming. When we come back, our pal Todd Albaugh will be here. We're going to take a Wisconsin quiz. What better way to spend a Wednesday night? What else are you going to be doing, folks? Face down in a bar doing shots? No. Keep it here at Nightlight. We're coming right back.
It's my love. Don't you forget.
The talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Located on the Menominee River, you'll be seated up close so you can witness all of the high adrenaline drama. The races are free and perfect for the entire family. Racing will be fierce with up to 100 powerboats and 18 heats a day. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the entire day. It's Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races, June 7th and 8th. Free for the whole family. You won't want to miss this awesome event. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page or contact the Marinette Welcome Center at 715-732-4333.
Hey, it's John Mino.
And Jim Schmidt from Mino and the Mayor.
Want to stay in the loop with all things Northeast Wisconsin? Sign up for the WGBW weekly newsletter.
Get the latest local stories, updates on the weather, and a special feature from our Mino and the Mayor podcast.
It's your one-stop shop for real news and great conversation in Northeast Wisconsin.
Log on to WGBW.FM today and get signed up.
Real news, great conversation. Sign up today at WGBW.FM/newsletter.
Wounded Warrior Project has been there for me since that first day in the hospital. They got me out of the house. They got me connected with other veterans, and they helped me face my PTSD. They support me and my family at every turn. And now I'm helping other warriors realize that they're not alone.
Through our hands-on programs, supportive community, and ongoing advocacy, we help post-9/11 veterans realize what's possible. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
Mommy, how come I can't sit in the front seat?
Because I love you and you're just not ready yet.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Way
Schwaba. So great to have you here on a Wednesday. This week is all of a sudden, remember last night I said it felt like it was going very slow.
Yeah.
And now it feels like it's flying by. I don't know what's going on. I got some kind of weird sci-fi thing happening here. Tammy from Eau Claire, she's in the 715, says, if it hasn't been said, MASH was before its time and in writing a classic for sure. No, look, I mean, I was going for 1 hour dramas, but MASH is good, and the writing was great. You're right, Tammy. Thank you for the text. I'm not going to split hairs, Conrad, with the listeners.
Yeah,
it's just
that
good
makes
to know
sense.
people are listening. Otherwise, this is a pointless exercise. All right, folks, this is exciting. I'm very excited to welcome back to Nite. He's been on the show several times. You know him. You love him. You listen to his show here on Civic Media on the network from 2 to 4 every day. His name is Todd Alba, and he joins us now on the stream. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, the mic was muted yet. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Look at you, man.
I'm my own engineer, guys, and we're coming to you live on location.
Where are you?
Can we hear you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Todd.
All right, now I can hear you. All right.
Wait, there's a whole lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
How's it going?
It's great. It's great. Well, I heard you guys start the show that it was going to be where's Waldo, or where in the world is Wisconsin, or something like that. So I thought, well, I really need to do something to play up on this theme of this quiz we're taking tonight. So we fired up the Civic Media satellite. This is costing the company $75 a minute to bring you this on the satellite. But it's fine. And we're here. If for those watching on the stream on the stream here, the video stream, right down here, I'm pointing. There is a monument right there where something famous happened on this street corner in 1977. Shall we tell you now, or shall we wait?
Let's wait, because can you give us a hint? Like, where are you, Todd? Would that be giving it away?
No, I don't think so. I'm at the intersection of East Washington Avenue and U.S. Highway 51.
Okay.
So I'm on the east side of Madison, not too far. I can kind of see the lights of Easttown Mall. And Highway 51 will take you down to Stoughton or north to DeForest.
I love that area of Madison. You better just tell us. I don't think it would be bad radio. You're the radio expert and the elder statesman here. No. That would be bad radio, right? If I just took 3 minutes to guess and ponder.
Well, that's fine. Or we could do whatever. No, I'll tell you. And this is I did not plan this. It just happened. You might have seen when we first came on the air. There are a couple of guys behind me. That was Wisconsin Historical Society historian Dean Robbins, who has been interviewed by our very own Terry Barr for his new book called Wisconsin Idols. Because and our brand new wonderful news director, Shali Pittman, sent me a story from WORT, the community station here in Madison. They did a story on this site where I'm at right now. In 1977, Pete and Conrad, a large Elvis Presley had flown into the Dane County Regional Airport, not too far from where I'm at right now, on his way to the Sheraton because he was going to play a show here in Madison. And he came upon these two young yahoos beating the crap out of a smaller kid at this street corner. And he got out of his limo. He had the driver stop, and rumor has it he was wearing a blue kimono. And he got out and he gave some of the classic Elvis karate chop poses, and he started kicking these kids, saying, "Lay off the little kid." And they recognized him and got up and shook his hand and apologized. And Elvis allegedly said, "Are we good here?" And the kids said, "Yeah." And he went on his way to the Sheraton, performed here in Madison the next night, and he died less than 2 months later.
Wow.
And there's right here, and there's a monument in front of beautiful Shep Motors here, by the way. And there's a monument in honor of this act of kindness and generosity just a couple of months before Elvis passed.
Post Black Belt Elvis coming to the rescue. That's really exciting. That should be taught in schools to school children, right? I think, in Wisconsin.
That should be part of Wisconsin history, for goodness sake.
We've got the Sputnik thing in Manitowoc. We got to have an Elvis thing in Madison.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did you happen to pick? You outdo yourself every time you're here, Todd, and I feel like a schlub because I just walk into your studio when I'm on your show and sit my fat butt down.
But you're enough. Pete Schwaba is enough. I have to find reasons to do something.
Look, whatever you're doing, it's amazing. So, who are those guys? Are you there? Like, did you guys all just happen to be there? You didn't get in your car and
It's
drive
crazy.
out to that site
So
just for this.
I was trying to when I heard Conrad and you guys talking at the beginning of the show, I'm like, I gotta find someplace cool, and I just did a search of historical sites in Madison. I had no idea this existed until an hour and a half ago. And I'm like, all right, I'm packing up the gear, heading down there. I get here, and this guy, Dean Robbins, and his assistant or whoever it is, they happen to come here just out of chance at the same time because they're shooting something for the Wisconsin State Historical Society.
I love that. That is why you are
How
the
cool is that,
brilliant radio personality you are. That is so fun.
Well, I'm not sure, but thank you to Shali Pittman as well, our news director, for giving me some.
I just met Shali in Madison on Monday.
She's
wonderful.
great.
Yeah. We did get a text from the 608. It says Elvis broke up a fight. So somebody, while you were explaining that, chimed in. They knew the answer. That's impressive.
See? It's very impressive.
That's really cool.
Somebody who knew more about Wisconsin history than me, and that does not bode well for the quiz I'm about to go up against you on, Pete.
I'm a little nervous, to be honest, Todd. PJ on the stream also says, I used to live in that area where Todd is. That's kind of cool. So we are going to take a Wisconsin quiz. I think this will be really fun, Todd. As you know, we're going to do the news at the bottom of the hour first, but we do 9 Wisconsin cities were voted in the top 250 at the end of last week. You may have already addressed this on your show, but we had fun with it last night. And we thought this would be a fun quiz to do. So Todd and I, after the news, are going to take a quiz. Conrad's going to read the question, and we'll both chime in, and we'll see how. I don't like my chances against Mr. Alba, but we'll have fun with it either way.
But you work for Wisconsin Public Television, where they're really smart.
Okay, we'll go with that. Todd is out in nature right now, folks. It's going to be awesome. Do not change that dial. We are coming right back. Keep it.
Damn mosquitoes.
Todd Alba's here. What could be better? It's Wednesday night on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. We are coming right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. President Trump's big budget bill in jeopardy. Billionaire and former Doge leader Elon Musk on X posting, quote, we need a new bill that doesn't grow the deficit. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We worked on the bill for almost 14 months. You can't go back to the drawing board, and we shouldn't. We have a great product to deliver here.
The father suspected of killing his 3 school-aged daughters near a Washington state campground is on the run. The public has been warned that 32-year-old Travis Decker could be armed and has military training. A federal judge blocking the deportation of the Boulder, Colorado firebombing suspect's family this afternoon, scheduling a hearing for later this month to hear the case. They told investigators no one knew that Mohammed Suleiman was going to carry out that attack at a demonstration to free Israeli hostages in Gaza. On a phone call today, President Trump says Vladimir Putin told him he will, quote, have to respond to Ukraine's major drone attack that damaged dozens of Russian military aircraft. This is ABC News.
The Milwaukee Brewers win again. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kuska filling in for Mike Clemens. Milwaukee defeated Cincinnati 9-1 today to take 2 of 3 games of the series. Jackson Chourio had 3 hits, including a 2-run home run to help spark the Brewers' offense. 3 Brewers pitchers combined to allow just 4 hits and 1 run, with Quinn Priester getting the victory. It's the 9th win for the Brewers in their past 10 games. Milwaukee heads back home to play the San Diego Padres starting on Friday. With a 21-5 victory today over Messiah, UW-Whitewater clinched the Division III College Baseball Championship. It's the Warhawks' 3rd title and first since 2014. Coach John Vodenlich said the Warhawks have had a potent offense all season.
This is who they are. This is a good reflection of what they've done many times. Once again, not on this type of stage, but I've seen that happen a lot.
Whitewater allowed just 19 runs in 5 games at the College World Series, putting up 20 runs of their own in the clinching game. The Warhawks finished the season at 49-6, with all 6 losses coming against fellow WIAC teams. Filling in for Mike Clemens, I'm Jimmy Kuska with Civic Media Sports.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. As usual, director Christopher Nolan's new project is ambitious, to say the least. The Inception director is currently shooting his latest project, Odyssey, in Morocco, Greece, and Scotland, just to name a few locations. Nolan loves to take cinematic chances as well, as evidenced by his breakthrough film, Memento. In keeping with the tradition, he is the first to shoot a movie entirely using IMAX cameras. Nolan used the cameras during parts of his film, The Dark Knight, and used IMAX black and white 65mm film during parts of Oppenheimer. Shooting an entire film on 65mm IMAX will be groundbreaking. Recently at Comic-Con, Universal Studios distribution chief made a prediction that the Odyssey will be a, quote, a visionary, once-in-a-generation cinematic masterpiece that Homer himself would likely be proud of, end quote. Cannot wait to see how this turns out. The Odyssey is expected to hit theaters July 27th, 2026. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy tonight, some areas of smoke and lows in the low 50s. A return to sunshine for tomorrow. Pleasant day. Highs in the upper 70s. Couple of pop-up showers on Friday, partly sunny, high mid-70s. Right now it's 73.
The Todd Albaugh Show.
Positive psychology coach Kira Sabin, it is great to have you back.
I love the idea of self-help, but there's also something called community help. We have become so divided, we've forgotten that our neighbor is really nice and makes great cookies and probably has the same concerns on a daily basis that you do. I think that we think things have changed, and I think we're just have stopped talking to each other.
Catch the Todd Albaugh Show at its new time, weekdays 2 to 4 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app. Mino and the Mayor.
We go to a place and we actually reserved it already, but they got the Swan. You know what I mean?
I don't know. What is a Swan? What do you mean?
Well, it's hard plastic.
Todd's got a smirk on his face. Here's a comment.
Okay, so I've seen paddle boats.
Right?
Are you talking about one that's actually built like a swan?
Yeah. I want a picture of that. That'll be my Facebook page.
Mino and the Mayor, weekday mornings 6 till 9 on 97.9 WGBW and 98.3 and 96.5 WISS. Maggie Dawn.
The show kicks off with Congressman Mark Polk.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you here on this Wednesday night. This is How We Wednesday here at Nightlight. We have a great question, and we engage listeners like all of you who have texted in such great responses to our question. And fun guest too. Todd Albaugh is here. We will. Todd and I are about to take a quiz, and it's going to be very exciting. And then we're going to read some texts. I will. I probably should read these texts before we take the quiz because I might be demoralized. But I feel good. Todd, is there a city in Wisconsin you haven't lived in that you'd like to?
That's a great question. A city that I have not lived in that I'd like to. It seems like, Milwaukee, I've never lived there, but I think it's a cool vibe. I've never lived in that big of a city before. That'd be kind of cool. Also, on the literally and figuratively opposite end of the spectrum, I've been to Bayfield, way up north. It's a beautiful little community.
We got so many texts last night, Todd, that people said Bayfield. It was like Door County and Bayfield. And I've never been there, but I have to put it on my list. Okay, so here's the other thing before we start. Madison was not even on the list. First of all, Madison was like the #1 place to live in the world for like 10 years running, 7 out of 10 years, whatever it is. Green Bay was the #1 place to live, under 250,000 or something 2 years ago. Green Bay's like 180th on this one. Madison's not even on the list. So what do you make of that? Are these publications like on the take?
I once worked with a guy named Joe Hassler from Reedsburg, Wisconsin, a graduate of UW-Madison's J School, who lived in New York for a while, wrote for Popular Mechanic and other national publications. And we had a discussion about this one time. And he said, all we do is we just steal each other's lists and we change a couple, and that's all we do. And so everything just kind of gets. I don't think any of these reporters actually visit these cities. It's like, all right, my editor wants me to do another one of these. Take this one out, find 2 more, boom.
That's hilarious. We did get a text from Anna in Madison in the 608. She says, this is where Todd is, and she sent us a picture of the plaque. You're right, Todd. It says Elvis Presley fight scene.
Yes.
He's like doing a pose. It's great.
I am live here on the Elvis Presley fight scene at the intersection of East Washington and Wisconsin Highway 51 South.
I love that you are there. All right. Todd Alba is here. Check out his show every day here on the network from 2 to 4 p.m. He does a great job. And he has a Conrad, too, by the name of Aaron Zommers, who is fantastic. You guys have a great show and a great time.
You're too kind. Thank you very much.
Very welcome. All right, so let's get to this quiz,
All right.
Conrad, because I am jazzed.
Here we go.
Yes.
Conrad, I asked him to do this, Todd. I don't know the answers. He's going to surprise us. How should we do this? Should we just shout out the answer as soon as one of us knows it, Con?
Yeah, shout out the city that you're in.
The city, okay.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So
I feel like I'm
where
at a
are
disadvantage because I got the satellite. I got the Starlink. I'm probably delayed. All right, let's go.
Todd's already making excuses. Okay. So, wait, what is the quiz called, Conrad?
It's where are you in
All right.
Wisconsin?
So that's what we're going to answer, the city where we are when Conrad reads the clues. Here we go. Night Light quiz, Wisconsin City quiz, Todd Alba v. Pete Schwaba.
So this city has a nickname of the City of Bridges.
Yeesh.
The City of Bridges.
Milwaukee.
No,
Green Bay.
it is not.
Okay.
I can go to the next clue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go to the
It
next
is home to the Wisconsin Logging Museum, home of the Paul Bunyan Logging Camp.
Marinette.
It is not.
one. I almost guessed Marinette too, but the
Wouldn't it be
Bunyan thing
funny?
I know is not there. Lacrosse.
I can go to the last clue that I think will give it away. The
Okay.
first Quick Trip store opened in this town in 1965.
Lacrosse.
That is the second store the franchise. after
Lacrosse. No, that's Minnesota Lacrosse. Arcadia.
Trip has been around since 1965?
Yeah.
The first official store opened in this.
Arcadia on Alaska. Tremplo. It's somewhere around there.
All right, give us the answer. We don't know.
It was ranked 49th on the best places to live, and it is Eau Claire.
Oh, Claire?
Oh,
Claire.
Really?
Yeah, Eau Claire.
Oh my sister will kill me because she lives there. I didn't know that. I would know. There's not that many bridges in Eau Claire, but okay.
I never heard that, and I didn't know Quick Trip had been serving deliciousness for that long. Okay,
I didn't know that was Quick Trip started there. I swore it was Lacrosse. That was good, Conrad. Well
Yes.
done.
that was a great
See,
question.
I thought that too. So I went to their website, and it says officially on the Quick Trip website they started in Eau Claire.
I'm not doubting your journalistic integrity. I'm just saying.
I was just, if
All
you
right.
want to see a cool story, go to their website.
All right, question number 2. Here we go.
All right. It is home to the first hydroelectric plant in the world.
Sheboygan.
No,
Lacrosse.
it is not.
Kenosha.
No. I'll give you one more guess before I give
Okay.
the next hint.
All right.
Oshkosh? It's got to be by water, right?
All right.
Manitowoc.
So, the city sits on the Fox River and is nicknamed the Fox Valley.
Appleton.
Yes, that is correct.
Do we get it? Todd Alba is winning 1-0.
I lived in Appleton for a summer while my parents were getting divorced. Great memories. This is a true story. Do you know that Harry Houdini is from Appleton, Wisconsin,
sure.
and he once was quoted as saying, "My greatest escape was from Appleton, Wisconsin." Not great for the hometown there. It's a lovely community.
They're not putting that on a plaque, but I mean,
No, I don't
come
think
on.
so.
All right, Con. Number 3. Here we go.
All
I'm
right.
feeling good.
It is home to the spirit of aviation.
Oshkosh?
Correct.
Oh, of course. How did I not get that? God bless it.
And it was ranked 114th on the list.
114th, right?
114, all right.
Sarah Jean says this trivia is great. 3 laughy face emojis. Love it. All right. And PJ says, I think that Quick Trip has a restaurant. Oh, wow.
I believe so. I think
Seating
our
for
buddy
2.
in Wonderfully
All right.
Wisconsin actually
Oh, is that
did a
right?
video on that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, here we go. Question number 4. Todd is up. Do zip.
All right. This city is home to the great Les Paul who invented the solid body.
Waukesha.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa.
What do you think of
Whoa. He's coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know how I knew that. I think we had a guest on recently.
Say
Todd's
the
up.
whole thing again. I didn't hear it. What?
Oh, go ahead, Con.
So it is home to the great Les Pauls who invented the solid body electric guitar.
Oh, Les Paul. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, good.
I think Don Brown told me that. All right.
And then also the other clue I had was originally known as the Spring City for its fresh spring waters, thought to have healing properties.
Oh,
very good.
The kid does his homework, Todd.
Yeah.
You got to say
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
All right.
Todd's up 2-1.
The next city.
Oh, wait. Did he just get that one?
No, you did.
You did.
Oh, did I?
You don't remember? I mean, I'll make it 3-0 if you want.
All right, it's 2-1. No, I thought I answered the question like 3 minutes ago. We're still getting trivia on the.
I let that in. Sorry. All right. So the next city had a nickname of its original name was the jinxing capital of the world.
Jinxing capital.
Jinxing capital. Oh, ginseng. I thought like a jinx.
Yes.
Like I put a jinx on you.
Ginseng. Yeah. I thought
Ginseng.
you owe me a Coke capital
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah.
Boy.
Janesville?
No.
Give us another clue.
Yeah.
Was originally known as Big Bull Falls.
Oh, Wausau.
Correct.
Nice, Todd. Wow.
Only because WXCO Bull Falls
Yes.
Radio
I
on
saw
Civic
that.
Media.
Ah, very nicely done. Todd is up 3-1 in our Nightlight Wisconsin City Quiz. Todd Alba is my guest here. He is the host of the Todd Alba Show. I don't know how you got that gig, Todd, but you must have beat out some serious competition.
There was nothing else going on, and they said we need to fill a couple of hours.
You didn't get the host of the Maggie Dawn Show gig, but you got the one I think fits you much better.
No, she looks better in a skirt, but it's a close contest. So.
Well, we've seen you in a tutu, my friend. Last
Yes,
time you were
exactly,
here, so
exactly my
don't
point.
sell yourself short.
Yeah. I
All right,
apologize. We have one motorcycle. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, dude, downtown Green Bay is the motorcycle capital of the world. It's like this. I don't know what they're compensating for, but it's a very
Right? Exactly.
it's very strange. All
It's
right,
the little
question,
goofy crotch rocket. So anyway, yeah.
All right, Con, bring it. Feeling good.
The
Here we go.
original name, derived from French, is the Bay of Stinkers.
Green Bay.
Correct.
He just
Whoa,
did Green Bay
really?
dirty.
Really?
It did smell
Wow.
bad, yeah. It was because of the green algae that we had.
They pushed everything to Kakana. And now it
think
smells.
so.
Now it smells lovely here. So, sorry, Kristen Lyerly.
Exactly. What do they call the ghosts? Right? The great ghosts.
Right.
Yeah.
The red ghost. Yeah, the gray ghost. Something like that.
The white ghost. Maybe I don't know.
Todd is up 3-2. All right, Conrad. Nice quiz, buddy. Here we go.
So, all right, the next one. It is nicknamed the Malibu of the Midwest.
York County, Sturgeon Bay.
Nope.
I hate when they do that.
The Malibu of the Midwest.
Sheboygan?
Because
Because it's right in the lake.
No.
It's
no
also because of the surfer
way.
culture that they have there.
They do have
Apparently,
a surfer
yeah.
culture there, right?
What was that? What was that? Speaking of, here I'm on the right show for this question. The John Candy was starred in it. He was from Sheboygan or whatever that was.
The
What was
Kenosha
that?
Kicker. Oh,
Yeah. I don't
The
know.
Home
Anyway,
Alone?
go ahead. No, go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
Uncle
All
Buck.
right, we're tied, by the way. Todd, 3-3.
Wow,
This is good.
All right.
All
This is to tie it up, and then I'll have to make another one for a
All right.
tiebreaker.
All right.
Okay.
But all right, known for its numerous parks and green spaces, earning the nickname of Wisconsin Park Place.
Wow.
Lacrosse.
No,
I keep going back to
Kenosha?
nope.
that. Janesville.
Correct.
Oh, wow. Nice pull. How'd you know that, Todd? That's awesome.
The only reason it popped into my head is because the now late great Democratic State Senator Tim Cullen is from there, and also former House Speaker Republican Paul Ryan is from there, and they worked together to do a big revitalization for their parks along the river, Rock River, and everything. It was a big deal.
Todd's political background coming to the rescue on that question.
Tim Cullen from heaven, giving me the win. God bless you, Tim.
Oh man, that's great. Is that the quiz? Did we finish
Yep,
it? Oh
yep.
wow, 4-3. I did better than I thought I would, but Todd
Pretty
Todd
darn
helped me
close.
off. That's fantastic. Sarah Jean says it was Home Alone, so she's convinced
was
it
it?
was
All
Home
right.
Alone. He was in the Kenosha
Yeah.
Kickers. And then PJ says Todd has to strike an Elvis pose if he passes the quiz. Oh, that's fortuitous.
What's the one with the cape? Was it like that or something? I don't know.
It was like a karate thing, I thought.
I don't know.
That's great stuff. And then
By the way, can I answer the 1 hour drive? I heard this earlier, and before you even finished the question, I said Dallas, hands down, not even close.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I got into that for a while, but I didn't
Ooh.
stick. I probably watched like the first 2 or 3 years.
I stuck it through the bad. Even the Dream Year. Remember that one? There's an entire season where Patrick Duffy, who played Bobby, was written. He couldn't have a contract agreement or whatever. They wrote him off. They killed him. And the way that they brought him back was, hey, viewers, all that time you spent watching every Friday night at 8 o'clock, it was all a dream.
That's like a middle finger to the whole audience.
Right.
Ronnie from Horicon says, I think it was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the movie where John Candy is from Sheboygan. I don't know about that, but I appreciate
the late, great John Candy as well. I mean, you can't do better than him. He's fantastic.
Of course not. All right.
Well,
and
I mean, Pete Schwaba is pretty fantastic as well. And by the way, I heard now when I say your name, I have to make my mouth moist, so I have my water here. So it's Pete Schwaba.
That's it. We're coming right back with Todd Alba's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
As Wisconsin as a fish fry on a Friday night. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Feeling better is about feeling all kinds of things. You want to feel healthy, sure, but you also want to feel heard and understood, valued, even, well, loved. That's what we want too. We're Amplify Health, and we think the best way to care for someone is to care about them. That's why all our treatments include a little empathy. Welcome to healthcare that's all about caring. Welcome to Amplify Health by Bellin. A little empathy changes everything.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
Summer, summer, summer. It's time for Civic Media's Scotty Summer Text to Win contest right here on this local Civic Media radio station. We want to hook you up with $100 cash, Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, and the chance to win a summer getaway to the Wisconsin Dells area or an escape to Door County. Download the free Civic Media app in the Google Play or App Store. Then listen in for the keywords during the 7 and 11 a.m. hour and 2 and 4 p.m. hour. Text in the keyword and get set to win. It's Civic Media's Scotty Summer.
Rebel Eddies is your solution for auto detailing in Midwest Wisconsin. They specialize in top-tier services including deep cleaning and detailing, paint corrections, ceramic coatings, wax oil undercoatings, window tinting, and more. And they take pride in delivering professional results every time. Rebel Eddies is family and veteran-owned and operated. Bookings are available as soon as 1 week. Call 920-671-8984 or visit rebeleddies.com. Rebel Eddies Detailing. Restore, protect, maintain.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.FM and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.FM. We can work together to have real news and great conversation while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
The Todd Albaugh Show.
We are not perfect here at Civic Media. Far be it. Certainly not perfect at this show. But one thing I can assure you of, our owner that I can see right through this glass right now, Sage Weil, has never once told me what to say and encourages us to speak the truth. And that's why, above all else, I'm proud to work for this company. And along with my colleagues, we will bring you what's really happening out there. And if we get it wrong along the way, we'll admit to that and correct ourselves as well.
Catch the Todd Albaugh Show at its new time, weekdays 2 to 4 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app.
Welcome back. You've got Nightlight with Pete Schwaba for a few more minutes here, and it's been great having you join us here tonight. As always, tomorrow night on the show, actor Wayne York, will make the popcorn pick of the week, and then Bob Dennis rolls into the studio. We're going to talk about connections presidents have had with mafia members, so that'll be fun.
Ooh.
Bob's a mafia expert, and Steady Eddie weighs in on the text line on the 608. He says, Pete, my favorite 1-hour TV drama was NYPD Blues. Plural. Eddie goes plural. He says, good writing, interesting characters played by good actors, filmed in a creative way. My favorite character was Detective Andy Sipowicz, played by Dennis Franz. He was a lifelong New Yorker and a hard-boiled cop with a Chicago accent. Da Bears. How did that happen? I don't know, Steady Eddie. We got to get to the bottom of that. That's great. Tom from New Berlin, he's in the 414. He says, this is awesome in response to our quiz, which Todd Albaugh, my guest, host of the Todd Albaugh Show that you can hear every day here from 2 to 4 on Civic Media. He was victorious.
Barely.
Was close, though.
By the skin of my teeth.
You pulled it out.
Hey, look at this off Twitter. If I could say this quick, we got tweeted at, Pete, by one of your fans, our fan, Dave Harrison, tweeted. Oh, geez, here we go. Here goes the crotch.
He's on his way to Green Bay.
Yeah, exactly. We're at the old intersection of U.S. Highway 51 and East Washington here in Madison, the home or the site where Elvis Presley fought off a couple of bullies. That's real, actually. But here, Dave Harrison says, always seemed like folklore what just happened here at the site or local legend, but I actually met the son of one of the two guys who were fighting on the street corner at Todd Albaugh, at Pete Schwaba, a couple of years ago by chance in a bar. Wish I had written down his name. How about that?
That is spectacular. Wow.
So thanks, Dave, for listening, and thanks for giving us that nugget of confirmation.
Todd, I absolutely love, like, where you're standing. To me, it's like, I'll take that over an autograph any day. To stand where that actually happened. Or where, like in the case of Sputnik, it landed in Manitowoc. Mm-hmm. And I did this when I toured, I think I've told the story in the show before. I was touring Benjamin Harrison's house in Indianapolis when I was there doing stand-up. My wife and I were going through, and I was fascinated that this guy took up this space. And I was such a nerd. I was going through the house going, this is the bed he slept in? Oh, my God. And this is the desk. Abraham Lincoln gave it to him. And by the end of the tour, I said something like, this is where he stood when he made that speech? And this kid who's like 18 giving the tour goes, it's just Benjamin Harrison, man. but that stuff, like, fascinates me. And where you're standing, Elvis not only stood there, he broke up a fight.
Yeah, two months before he died.
That's incredible.
I
love that you did this. Thank you so much.
Well,
again,
thank
Todd,
you.
always.
It's always a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. You have a great show, and it's always a great way to wind down my day because the news of the day just stresses me out. And so listening to you guys, it always makes me feel better. And you have great guests tonight, with the exception of me. But otherwise, you have fantastic guests on this show.
No, listen, somehow you outdid yourself. You know, last time you had the cigar and the cowboy hat and you made the pick, and you made an obscure pick with an Andy Garcia movie. Yeah. And I don't know how you did this, but you found this corner in Madison. And
you guys inspire me, and it's just fun. So it's part of the love of radio and broadcasting, right? We get to do things that other people don't and travel around. So that's what I love.
I will take that. Fantastic, buddy. Thank you so much. And let's do it again. You're the best.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
All right, that's Todd Albaugh. Probably getting eaten alive by mosquitoes out there in Madison on the corner where Elvis fought. I love. You know what's weird, Conrad? Like, there are probably 1,000 places like that in Wisconsin, and you just don't know about them. Like, not that the state should spend $1 million a year promoting the corner Elvis got into a fight on, but like, I think it was Otis Redding died in a plane crash in Lake Monona, and he was stuck to his seat, I think seatbelted in, and they had to retrieve his body. It took 2 days, but like all these weird celebrity or, sports figures, all these crazy little factoids from around the state. It would be cool if we had like a site where we could compile that,
This is where Pete Schwaba was on the radio.
This is where Pete Schwaba, he came in one day after Jim Schmidt sat here. And then Kristen Lyerly. Listen, a lot of butts have been in this seat just today alone.
Yeah.
So let's break out the Febreze before we get out of here. Bridget, where's Bridget's text? I want to read Bridget's text. From the 818, Bridget says, FBI and Law and Order SVU. She says, love Olivia Benson. You know what, Bridget? I totally agree with you. I love that character. But I think I stopped loving her, at least from a TV watching experience about 10 years ago. She's kind of like, they have her written now as like a superhero. And people in real life that do what she does are superheroes, but something about it on TV, it's just less interesting than it was. Or maybe they've done all the storylines they can, but it is a great show. So thank you for the text, and I don't disagree. And going to the stream, PJ says, in the movie Home Alone, John Candy played Gus Polinski, the polka king of the Midwest, who was the leader of the Kenosha Kickers, a polka band. Yeah, that's what I was saying, PJ, but Todd thought there was a Sheboygan connection. And did one of the texters say Uncle Buck?
I said Uncle Buck.
Okay.
I don't think it was that, though.
Did you text that in from the other side of the glass? Okay.
Well, I said it. Maybe it made its way to a text form.
Yeah, that's I don't know. We'll have to do a Google on that overnight. Maybe an overnight Google. PJ also says Madison was a great place to live, but it got too expensive. Madison is crazy expensive. But you know what? You want to live somewhere cool, you pay. Good schools, culture, all fun stuff, good sporting events to go to, concerts. It's
Elvis.
Cost money. Elvis getting in fistfights.
Yep.
Defeating bullies with his cape. All right, folks, we're doing this all. Believe it or not, we're going to sign off in just a few seconds here. But we're coming back tomorrow, so I hope you'll join us because it's going to be another fun show. We're doing the Popcorn Pick of the Week. Then we got Bar Band Friday night on Friday. All kinds of fun stuff still to come this week on Nightlight. Great to have you with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your text. Thank you to Todd Alba, and thank you to Brian Hicks on behalf of the lovable producer Conrad. Good night, Wisconsin.
I'll take me to your best friend's house. Marmalade, we're making out. Oh.